Welcome to my channel. If you want to know how to create a meeting room reservation system using Google Forms and Google Sheets, you can watch my last video to create the form first. And then this video is the key to the reservation system, which is to create a schedule by using spreadsheets. Okay, today we're going to start with Google Sheets after we got some data. Let's add a sheet to make a schedule for Meeting Room A. The title has a date and a week. Then use Alt and Enter across the row. Here's time. You can enter this part one by one. You can also copy the time here and paste it with a transposed function. And then you can get rid of all of that in a substitute way. Type Alt and H to open the window of Find and Replace. Then set it up like this. And just modify the contents of this sheet or all sheets. Right brackets are also replaced. You can quickly make a schedule here. Let's go back to this schedule. Then there is the setting of the date. Here you can type the formula. Let this grid be displayed forever today. Then this cell is, of course, the next day. We can populate the field on the right by adding 1. And then it's the week. Because the dates are the same. So we can just copy and paste. And then what we're going to do is adjust the format. Let it show by the day of the week. This allows us to confirm the date of the appointment more clearly. Now I'm going to set a schedule for 1 month. And then I am going to copy that part and paste them on the right side. I set it to display the data for 1 month. You can paste it according to the period you need. And then there's the formula for our schedule. The formula we're going to use is filter. So how do we use this formula? There's an explanation here. The first field of filtering. It's the information you want to send back, which is the reason for making a booking. When the conditions are met later, the reason for the customer's reservation will be the content of the formula posted back. So the first field is what you want to show after you meet all the conditions. Okay, then that's the first part. The part of the back. It's the conditions you want to set. That's as you can see from my explanation. The first condition we set must be date abiding. That means the July 7th field must return the data of July 7th. So the first condition I set is that your dates must match. The second condition is that the reason for the booking is approved. The third condition must be the information of this room. If the customer has made a reservation for other meeting rooms today, it won't appear in this schedule. Then my fourth condition must be that the time field has an occurrence of V. It appears in the schedule only when these conditions are met. Let me show you how to make it step by step. So like I said, the first one must be the information you want to send back. That is, the reason for the customer to make a reservation. Then we need to lock the data by pressing F4 to add dollar marks. Here we need to add a comma to end the first part. Then the dates must be consistent. So I'm going to choose a date here. The data will be locked as well. Dates must be the same day to be eligible. Then you need to lock the first row. Avoid pulling down and it will bring in the wrong information. Next, your results must be approved. You also need to lock the results. Then your meeting room is locked as well. To be equal to room A. In the end, there is whether the time 8 o'clock 9 o'clock has been ticked. The time column must also be locked. When these four conditions are met, it can only appear in my schedule. The message here is not a mistake. It means that no eligible data can be returned back. In other words, no one has booked meeting room A at this time today. So we're going to add another formula here. If this message appears, it will return a blank content. Okay, then we're done. Now you can copy this formula. Then select all the cells and paste them, or just drag the data down. I accidentally made a mistake here. I'll just remove the data. Now you need to pay attention to. Due to the time change, the data you have locked must also be adjusted accordingly. Let's take 9 to 10 o'clock for example. Because of the change in your time, the information is in column H. So what we want to send back is the information of the column H. And so on, followed by IJKLMNO's information. We are adjusting them one by one. Then I'll teach another formula later. It can be set up even faster. There is no need to manually enter them one by one. Then after setting it up, we can fill in the right side. Now you can see the information here. It proves that my formula is correct. The error message that appeared before was because it couldn't find the information. Speaking of errors, here's how an actual error is displayed and what to do about it. This is how error shows. So if your formulas are set correctly, then why is there an error message? I'll give you an explanation. We can go back to this sheet here. It's obvious. Someone repeatedly reserved room A from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then both of those reservations were approved as well. So in such a case, there's no way for the formula to tell which information it's going to send back, because both data are eligible for it. So the wrong message appears. Of course, the room can only be used by one event. It is not possible for multiple events to use it at the same time. So obviously the second information, when Flora was making the reservation, she didn't notice that Emily had made a reservation on July 10th at 10 o'clock. Flora repeatedly made a reservation from 10 o'clock. So we had to communicate with Flora. Ask her to change the meeting room. Or ask her to postpone the start of the event. Now I postpone Flora's reservation from 11 o'clock. This can actually solve this problem. The error message has now disappeared. So you don't need to panic when you see the error. It can be seen as a reminder. Indicates that someone has filled out the reservation information incorrectly. Therefore, it will cause the formula to not be successfully returned. So when an error message appears, it helps us to review the original booking information. Where could it be wrong? That's pretty much the end of the error message. Let's go back to the original schedule. To keep the times visible, you can freeze the first column here. Now even if you keep pulling the data, or add your data, you can always see your time here. The schedule here is almost done. If you want to know how to make other room schedules faster, please see my next video. And if you want to know how to make schedules faster I just mentioned, please follow up my next move. The function I'm going to use is index. So what is the index function? You can see my explanation here. The first part indicates the range of data you are using. The second part is how many rows of data you want to use. The third part is how many columns of data you want to use. So you can see from the setting here, the range I'm using is the timetable. Then the reason why my second field was not filled indicates that I want to use data from all rows in this range of time. And the third part, we're going to use the formula row, indicates that I want to use the data from first to last column in this range of time. Now let me show you how index works. I've set it up this way because I want the formula to grab the first column of data from this timetable. When I drag the formula down, row 1 will change to row 2. Which means I want the formula to grab the second column from this timetable. So, as I continue to drag down, it will use all the information in the second column, the third column, the fourth column, from this timetable. So back to the schedule. We are going to change this part only. The range I'm using is the timetable, from column G to column O. The data from timetable has to be locked. It sent back the data of all rows in the first column. So today if I pull down the cells, a 1 will become a 2, a 3, a 4. Here, it means to grab the information in the second column, third column, fourth column, from the timetable. This is the end of the room schedule making tutorial. The next video will teach you how to make schedules faster for other rooms. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, subscribe and ring the bell for notifications.